Vocabio. Master English your way.
Reality. What I write about as a supervised society. In the supervised society.
Cockpit. A couple years later, I was supervising Solo, a Star Wars story, and we thought, could we take what they'd done?
Personally supervised the torture of many witches. Can you imagine?
Under Ukrainian law, and then in a free and fair election, which could be supervised by the European Union or the United Nations.
First, secure the seat, then supervise the reconstruction with a team of architects.
Seen many things that I'm blessed to have seen. That
you don't understand, and that's fine. You're blessed. I actually say to people, I envy.
Big takeaway, bless you, has been that that the show has done.
Now, back in 1985, I was blessed. Having my family, girlfriend.
So, Pete, we are, as they say, blessed with living in interesting times. I love trying to...
When you say much loved, I'm not convinced I am much loved around the globe with my cricket.
They started their special operations that turned into a war trying to convince the world that basically this is nothing, this is just a lot.
Contact lenses or glasses because he's convinced that when there is a social breakdown of some
to fall, and so I'm not convinced at the moment, famous last words,
absolutely,
that there's going to be a
use a Bitcoin, to use a blockchain to convince people of ideas and scam them into investing in things.
General argument for more distributed power, some constraints where you
belief change phenomena distributed quite widely throughout the society, which
opportunity and power should be distributed. That is not the doing of the person.
Grow, purchase, and then distribute. So as part of Food Forward, we're really trying to
use of household level distributed energy resources within the future energy system.
Start to gather and produces all sorts of different ideas of which
world's maritime insurance is, as you gather, in London, and they just simply had a word.
There is this idea that if we gather the whole world in one place at the top of a mountain for
on what other people might look at to gather the data that they needed to make the decision.
For my niece, so I, gathered up a bunch of my clothes, and then we kind of had a
CEO of a clothes retailing company who said with great excitement, "It's wonderful."
That we just went in and we just smelled that, and the clothes that were placed on the models there in another room, suddenly they were bought.
Maybe you'd experiment with specialist tennis clothing or high-tech accessories.
Just that there's no added volume with your clothes, and we'll also put a lovely little swim cap on for you.
They upheld the right of women to obtain abortion up until viability, usually between...
Organizationally, operationally, we have no usable photos obtained from the ground stations.
It's how they were going to obtain food, or shelter, or heat, or how they were going to bury...
To obtain consolation from a lie.
Computer, we're bending and breaking and blending ideas all the time. So the shoe on the nose is
misinformation and manipulation. We blend artistry and expertise in order to
heal their sea country by blending this modern innovation with their
expertise from outside politics to blend into the general system.
That links to one of the questions.
Characters often blend, sometimes step on each other's toes, but here it seems
forming teams were mostly intelligent in how they treated other teams they depended on, whether it was
gambling and was being treated like a VIP. I've spoken obviously to parents who
are not called by their proper names by the media.
So the story are treating Cumbria as though it's a blank space on a map, as though there aren't any.
I think you need to still feel like you're being treated as a human and with dignity. So,
but can be pursued by his or her heirs.
The way they're sort of pursued
I mean, what is the problem with the woke agenda?
For espionage, which everyone had been, pursuing code for espionage, but for destruction. We also
wanted to go on and ultimately was able to pursue that passion through an internship at
they could be pursued with criminal charges. I think in practice those would be quite hard
from spinning out. Doesn't take much, then the car starts rotating. Once it starts rotating, you lose grip and you
Constitutional, which allow members to rotate off of the Supreme Court. So I wouldn't be for pack.
Incredible claim about this robot.
For 45 days, the drone rotated into combat duty.
You believe that we live on a spheroid rotating around a star, one of many stars in the Milky Way, one of many.
I have a whole roster of sitcoms that I rotate through. Sometimes it's comforting knowing what's going to happen.
Seem unelectable until they seem electable and then they get elected. And the Labour Party has a proud tradition of seeming unelectable.
In the same category as a democratically elected leader like Donald Trump or Erdogan in Turkey.
Roman emperors were not elected by the populace.
Saying, but they were democratically elected. They are also representatives of the people, so we can.
Dated by the Constitution of India, no different from Mr. Trump getting elected in America. People complained about him, but he was elected.
Associated with ingesting lethal drugs was missing in 71%.
Sense that an emotion that was built to prevent me from ingesting poison should predict who I'm going to vote for in the
11 Labs, which is an audio AI company, so it ingests a little bit of your voice and then it can read.
Are at risk for attempting to ingest plastic, which can cause just physical harm, mechanical harm.
Fed, and I think mostly have ingested and tend to embrace.
Not that easy to transmit sexually. So it depends on how much virus there is.
Transmission fidelity. So this is, how well can you transmit information? How open of a culture do you have?
Pregnancy and protection against sexually transmitted infections and consent, if you will.
Cool way of transmitting power generated by wind or solar farms.
Of the shares. A boost in the price of the shares always transmits into a boost of the bonuses of the CEO.
Is never allow all the data to be concentrated in only one place. Again, this is the high road.
On a voice, but it has still concentrated power in the hands of a few.
Like their mind states, whether they're relaxed or concentrated or happy or things like that.
To park Russia in order to be able to concentrate on China and Taiwan, because obviously from the geostrategy
to attack us. That they are concentrated on their internal problems rather than external problems. That they are
conspiracy theories that people like Trump circulated around where he was born. So there are figures
basically following rumors that had been circulating on a very big local Facebook group that was sort of
flows, rivers flow, the oceans circulate, and birds and insects fly. Which is why
that this image appeared and began to circulate around social media on the 24th of February.
Statues back and how they can continue to circulate in a better form to the one that you
heard the numbers right, have attracted an audience of over 5 million for some
that attract cultural production, so to speak, stories, interpretations.
That really attracted certain people to him. I think also
on London streets also attracted huge number of flies, which then spread typhoid.
Pokemon or whatever it is, right? It attracted so much trading that it actually froze the entire Ethereum blockchain.
So that very few survive. I mean, there are a lot of moments.
And it broke. You didn't survive. You need suffering and pain. You need struggle.
It could not survive. It starts with Augustus, who establishes the system.
Most people cannot work from home or indeed survive on the pay cut that is also known as furlough.
They've had liquidity in their country so they can survive and strike. So for every illicit use, there is a positive use, and probably way more.
Government secrecy, and national security, including the books titled Area 51.
But there are lawsuits and challenges, including whether it's too early to call some.
DJ since his teens, collaborating with artists including Fatboy Slim and Skepta, and has played Coachella.
Burns, a historian of ideas, including the evolution of economic, political details at multiple levels of analysis, including strategic, operational, tactical.
Is that they haven't actually computed the life expectancy of rappers. They've said of the
do on classical systems, they take enormous amounts of compute, weather prediction systems, these kind of things. All
that you require so much more computing and figuring out the user interface and getting market acceptance.
Gave us the foundation of modern computing. The International Space Station gave us LASIK eye surgery.
The industry requires deep computing to find that deep oil.
We have two.
Vocabio, available in Google Play. Download, discover, improve your English.